All right, guys, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how you go from 10 cars to 20 cars to 30 cars to 40 cars to 50 cars to 60 cars and to 70 cars plus. I've done it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Stay tuned, take notes, let's kick some ass. Okay guys, so there's 3 levels to really start scaling your career. So I want you to really lock into this. Now listen, if you're in car sales and you're at 10 cars, you wanna go up to 20, you wanna go up to 30, you wanna go up to more, that's what I wanted my whole life. When I got into this car sales business, man, I was 18 years old, I'm 35 right now, and I was just that young, hungry, fired up. You show me what to do. I know this is my way out. I know that this is the way that I can transform my family's bloodline forever. And I did it, man. Listen, man, my mom worked really hard for me and my brother. My mom was a single mom. We came from a place where, man, we had some good examples, but we had a lot of bad examples. We had a dad that was a drug addict, an alcoholic. He was totally lost, left our family. And so we were just broken kids running around trying to make something of ourselves. But we had this dream inside of us. Now, this dream inside of us to be somebody, to go hard, to be the persons our families can look up to. I was like, man, I want to get this penthouse. At first, I wasn't thinking about changing lives and all these things that I think about now. I was thinking about, man, how do I get rich? How do I put a lot of money in the bank? Listen, how do I, when my family's struggling, be the person that doesn't have to look at my bank statement every time I'm swiping my card for food, for lunch, for everything? I remember my first day of selling cars. I walked in, I was selling cars, didn't really know what to do. I left the dealership and I didn't have lunch. People were like, hey, we're going to lunch. I'm like, I don't have lunch money. I went over to the Safeway across the street and I had to take food from the Safeway and eat it out of the produce aisle. So listen, man, I changed my whole life through car sales. My first day, I'm just encouraging you, if you're at the bottom or the middle of the board, my first day, I had to get off the bus out front of the dealership and people made fun of me. Now, at that time, I walked into the showroom and I saw this Nissan GTR. And I said, that's gonna be my car one day. That's gonna be my car. 6 months, it's coming. I'm here to tell you, man, your dreams can come true. Those very same salespeople that were making fun of me for thinking big, dreaming big, wanting to be somebody, I pulled that car off the showroom floor, bought that car. Listen, I got that penthouse. I did those things, man. I'm telling you that you can do them too. Problem is, in your store, if you're watching this channel, maybe they don't teach you this. Maybe they're just teaching you how to sell 10 or 15 cars. Maybe they don't even think that it's possible. Maybe they've settled. Maybe they're numb to what actually can happen in this business. What can happen in this business if you believe it, if you see it? Step 1 is you got to believe it. You got to see it and you got to chase it. Don't let the losers in the 8-car circle talk you out of it. Don't let the manager that just talks shit every day and doesn't really have the life that you want convince you that you can't elevate. Listen, I didn't have a whole lot of support, I'll tell you, when I first started, man. It felt like everybody was against me. I'm telling you, man, maybe you're in a good store and you don't relate to this because people are fired up around you and they want to win. I didn't really have that. Now, I had some good people, but mostly I had to figure it out. But I knew this, man. That dream, making my mom proud, showing my family that we could make it, showing my family that I could break this bloodline, that I could make a lot of money, and that I could be somebody, I was able to do that in this business. So you can too. Now, I went through phases of climbing this ladder from like 10 cars to 20 cars to 30 cars to 40 cars to in 2017 in August, I sold 74 cars, okay? In a store when I first showed up there had never sold more than 100. So you have to imagine that, like, when I got up there, even salespeople that were around me started selling 20 and 30 cars, and those would have been store records back then. When one tide rises, all tide rises. I'm telling you that because as you go to scale, they're gonna be like, well, that's not this store. You're seeing a podcast right now that I did with Corey Baker. He sold 64 cars in a town of 2,900 people. Don't tell me what's possible. Okay, 2008, I got into the car business. I flew down to a seminar in Miami. I didn't even know what to do. A manager said, hey man, you're fired up. I learned from this guy. You can learn from this guy. It's $800. I said, I don't have $800. He said, that credit union across the street gives loans. I took a loan out from a credit union. I literally got $800. I didn't even know I had to pay it back. Matter of fact, it was on my credit report for like 5 years because I didn't know I had to pay it. I just thought they gave me some money. Like, I was that dumb, that naive. I didn't understand, okay? But investing in myself and paying that money and going down and seeing the skill that these other salespeople had, it amazed me. The way that they could handle objections, the way that their minds worked, the way that their sales worked, the way that their marketing worked. I'm like, gosh, there's a whole nother game that I've never experienced. At that time, I was selling 15 cars, okay? Selling like 10 to 15 cars. And in my store, they only paid like $100 flat. So it wasn't even covering my draw. It was like $1,500, $2,000. It wasn't a lot, man. And so this 10 to 15 car circle, like even to get there, even to get to 15, let's say this number, step one, level one, we'll call this. Level one's hard work. Level one, in order to get the skill, there's this saying, be plus do equals have. You want to get that Ferrari. You want to get that GTR. Man, my goal was to get this GTR. There was only one of them in the state, and it was sitting on our showroom floor, and I said, I could get that car. $150,000 car. I didn't know anybody that had a $150,000 car. Never met one person that had one, okay? I said, I'm going to get that car. First, you got to become something. You got to become something. Like, you got to start becoming the person that can drive that car. You got to start becoming the person that's worthy of that car. How are you going to do that? You got to invest in yourself. You got to get the skill. But you have to go to this do part. So many people focus on this becoming part, which is important. But I focused on this doing part, and that equal to have too. Let me explain. This saying is very popular, but I really believe you can do and be. The more you do become. Okay? For the major majority of my career, I'm not telling you to be me. Matter of fact, people out there online be like
Ian promotes hustle culture.
I promote working hard. Listen, it was hard for me to get the life that I had. It was hard for me to become the person that I had to become, and I had to work every single day. Some of you, your problem is you take multiple days off through the week. You don't really want what you say you want. You show up and you got this little energy, this little work ethic. I showed up and I knew I was a dog. I knew I was a dog, but I got around these other people. I started to act like a little puppy. I can't really make it. I don't know. They're better than me. Screw that. I went to this conference. They said, you could do it, bro. You're going to have to act like this. You're going to have to bring this kind of energy. You're going to have to master the 5 objections. You're going to have to know how to close. You're going to have to know how to make friends. You're going to have to know how to have charisma. You're going to have to know all of these things. And I said, done. Okay? First step to get here, it's working hard. It's working hard. Listen, experience is the key. Some people say experience means nothing. Well, in reality, you can get into sales and kick people with experience's ass because they've typically settled and they're probably not going to continue to climb the ladder, which I get that. But you know what happens when you do have experience because you have outworked everybody? What happens is you start to gain more confidence. If I gave you 500 customers right now over the next 5 days and you had to see that many customers, naturally by the end of it, you'd be the best salesperson around because your average salesperson is going to see 30, 40, 50 people a month. So if you saw 10x that, then you would be 10x better than them because you would gain market feedback. You would get your ass kicked, you'd learn things, you'd see things, and you'd naturally be aware and be getting better and better, okay? So one of the keys to moving up to here, which I call this the 20 to 40 car circle, the way that you move up here is going to be lead generation, okay? If you know how to work hard, if you know, lead generation. Hey, good thing is you don't have to know how to spell or have good handwriting to be a car salesman, okay? But step one, you better be a dog. Listen, I don't want to hear nothing. I talked to a guy the other day. I said, how many cars you got? He said 11. I said, how many days you take off last month? He had like 8 days off. I'm like, you're not me, man. You're not me, dude. Listen, man, if you really want to learn from me, I'm just going to tell you the real truth. Man, I don't think that I took a day off in the first 3 to 4 years of my career. Like, for real. And they're like, you're promoting hustle culture. Yes, I'm promoting that you're going to have to show up and be somebody and do it every single day till you're the best at it. Kobe Bryant didn't take a day off. Listen, man, you're going to have to reread that play, man. He didn't take a day off ever in his whole career. And you're taking off 4 days, 5 days a month, but then your parents are struggling and you want to help them, but you're taking time off. You're not getting better. But then you got this internal thing that's like, go be somebody. But then you're like, damn, dude, I want to hang out with the losers. I'm not interested. The Achilles heel to everybody in your store as you come into this business is they won't work hard. The hardest person that works down here, they're naturally going to get some deals from the store, from the BDC. They're going to make a reputation with yourself. Make a reputation for yourself. Write that down, okay? Make the reputation for yourself around service, around sales, around everybody that you're the person that's there to get the job done. And then what happens here in step 2, when you go to 20 to 40, what these guys have figured out is they figured out lead gen. Because listen, if you work hard here and you know how to work with a manager, which is these people that work at 20 to 40 cars, they know how to work with a desk manager. So we'll call it desk manager. They know how this desk manager works. The desk manager knows how they work. They probably have some BDC little honey holes, you know, BDC leads. They probably have a Facebook brand. So there's many ways for you to get leads. Matter of fact, you're seeing a little video down below that you can click, and that's a video where I'm teaching you like 20 ways to get leads. Like I could teach you a million ways to get leads, but how you go from here to here, it's not necessarily the hard work. You're maintaining the badass hard work that you have down here, but a lot of people think, man, Ian, I don't have any more to give to rise up into the 40 car circle. It's not working harder, it's working smarter. Over here, they figured out how to work service. Remember, I talked about seeing 500 people, remember that? Okay, so this person knows how to call on service, they're getting leads, and they're optimizing their process, okay? When I first started, you couldn't walk out and take an up. You had to be able to like work service, work one of these. And so what I went and did was I would go to the service drive every morning, 6:30, 7 a.m. before it opened, and I would open it up with him. I'd make friends with him. I'm like, all right, nobody's down here. Boss, why is nobody down here? He's like, they're lazy, man. You need to get down there. I'm like, all these people could potentially trade their car in? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll go ask him. Listen, curiosity is something you're born with. Every person can go up to people and ask them questions, and you don't have to have confidence. You can, hey, what's that? Oh, you're driving that car? Oh my gosh, look, if we gave you a little bit more money than it's worth, would you be interested in knowing what it is? I would just walk around and have conversations with people all morning long. By the time my salespeople got there that were working alongside of me, I've already gotten 20, 30 no's. I've already set 5 or 6 appointments. And so naturally, I'm just building that calendar and blocking out the white space on my calendar. So I would say you have to get really good at service here, but you have to have the referrals coming in. That's going to be part of it. Referrals, service, lead gen, BDC. You have to have a good manager that you work with, because it's going to take knowing somebody, how they work, how you work, their support, your support. You're going to have to establish that. Most people can't establish the support of a real good desk manager because they got a lot of stuff going on. They want to see if they can really count on you. That's why this part of seeing that you're a hard worker, they will rally behind you if you really are the hard worker. I promise you. Okay, so 20 to 40. They have the lead generation. You're seeing a video. They know how to work service. They know the outbound call script. I could hit it with you right now, word for word, verbatim. I could go over this script in 2 seconds. Watch. Ring, ring. Hey, this is Ian Macklin from the Toyota store where you bought your first vehicle at. I was just calling because I was reviewing your account. Do you got 2 seconds of time? They're like, well, you were reviewing my account. Do I have 2 seconds of time? I'm busy, they're thinking, but I only said 2 seconds. Yeah, but I'm busy. Oh, perfect, man. I already knew you're busy. Listen, I'm not calling to sell you something. My general manager wanted me to personally reach out to you and just see if you still have the car. He only asked me to ask 2 questions. That's one of them. Do you still have the vehicle? They're like, yeah, I still have the vehicle. Because I said they're Toyota. That's like somebody calling you and saying, hey, Jonan, this is Ian from the hospital. Your last 4 of your social is 9046. Is this you? You're like, yeah. Same thing. Hey, this is Ian from Toyota where you bought your last car at, the 2017 Nissan Frontier. Do you still have that? They're like, yeah, I do. Perfect. I only have 2 questions for you and I'll be on my way. Feel the urgency, feel the tonality, feel the confidence, feel the belief. Listen, man, you got to say it like me. I'm not saying be me, but I'm ripping with confidence. I'm ripping with love. And they're like, oh yeah, I got 2 seconds. Perfect. I only got these 2 questions for you and I'll be on my way. Okay? Just like that. I have the service script video. You can look at that. I'm running through it really fast because I got shit to do, but I'm telling you, that's how you say it. They say, yeah, I still have the vehicle. Okay, step number 2 is my general manager, he was getting ready to go to the auction to purchase vehicles that look just like yours. Yours shows that it has approximately this many miles, does it? Yes, they've said yes 4 or 5 times, going down the yes ladder. Perfect, perfect. Well, in reviewing your account, listen, what he would like to do is give you more money than your car's worth. It's crazy. It's like the lottery today. You're going to get more money than it's worth. Listen, could we show you what that number would be? Obviously, there's some contributing factors like what it looks like, a couple of the ways it drives, stuff like that. But check this out. Only takes a few minutes. You can come on down here. He'll walk out. He'll personally review it, check it out, and then we can go from there. Does that sound fair? Tell me no. I can handle it because there's only one thing you can say, yes or no. I can handle both of them. It's in all my training, okay? I can get almost anybody to say yes. Yes, I can get them to say yes. There's ways to handle it. Are we going to give them more than their car's worth? Maybe, maybe not. There's ways to handle that. If you're a professional, you know your job better than anybody else, okay? I can rattle it off in 3 seconds because I know my job so well I could teach it to 1,000 people upside down. Okay, you should too. I wanted to get paid like a doctor, then you got to perform like a doctor, okay? I wanted to change my family's life, well, then I had to have the energy of that I was going to change their life. If I wanted to change their life, I'd have to have the work ethic of the person that was going to change their life, and I did. So I'm proud of myself, okay? It's not me being arrogant. I honestly just look back. Today I'm 35. I live in the house of my dreams. I got the wife of my dreams, got a lot of the things, the business of my dreams, but I've literally grinded hard for 15 years. So make no mistake about it. If you're not going to grind, none of this shit works. Because what happens more when you grind, you create this internal confidence. It's like, dude, you are a badass. You are waking up at 4 a.m. You are getting to the dealer earlier than everybody else. You are staying later than everybody else. You know, by the end of my career, I was working 3-4 days a week. I have 8 to 10 appointments stacked up, and I'd have an assistant, which brings me up to this. 40 to 70 is not harder work. It's actually a whole lot easier to sell 70 cars than it was to sell 40 for me. You know why? Because this is where you have to buy back your time. Buy back your time. Okay, what happened is and I wish I would have gone from this level to this level a whole lot faster. I hung out in this like 20 to 40 to 50 car range for like a long time. And I never really went down to 20 ever in my career. Can't remember a time other than when I was like 19. But so I hung around that like top 40, 50 car mark for a while because I didn't go get help. Now, like a guy like Corey Baker, second year in the business, he has an assistant calling service all day long. You can now hire virtual assistants to call service, okay? Obviously, there's some approvals. Don't get caught up in, oh, well, my store this. Just shut up, dude. Just listen, man. Like, focus for a second. Like, don't get all granular on the facts. I'm just giving you some inspiration. I know how some of you think. That's why I'm coming on to you already, because I'm trying to bust your ass before I know what you're going to say. But you have to be able to buy back your time. What does that mean? I'm not doing deliveries at this level, okay? I'm not doing a whole lot of this. I have a bulletproof lead generation strategy that puts me in front of people, like Facebook advertising. I had some badass Facebook ads where I could get 200 to 300 leads a week that were just literally generated to me. That was more than most of my dealer got in the month. You know why? Because I knew how to run Facebook advertising. And so we would sit there, me and my assistant, we'd call them. I'd get the ones with bad credit. I'd get them approved. Thursdays were bad credit days. I'd have the customers come in Thursdays. I'd have all the cars approved. I'd have all the deals approved. I've had my finance manager ready, and I have 9 cars sitting there. I have all the cars cleaned up, gassed up, folders on the windows, ready to go. They weren't taking a different car. I worked in a bad credit store, so there's a way that you sold to that customer. You didn't show them the car. You got them to sit down. You talked about what the car was going to do for them. You're like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we got you approved. Now listen, I know that you want the Escalade, but that's just not how life works. How life works is this car is going to be the vehicle that drives you to an 800 credit score. Right now, you're a 450. I know that you've been to multiple other stores and it's been hard for you to get approved. We've got you approved. I had a great finance team. I loved working bad credit deals. My bad credit deals were a part of the reason why I could sell 70 cars, because if you're there for somebody and you treat somebody really good when they're struggling, when they're hurting, when they're down, you never forget that person, ever. You never do. And I never did. And so all these people, these bad credit, they would come back to me, they would build their credit, and they would always just stick with me. So I made a brand of helping people, and I didn't mind it. Did I get 800 credit scores and 750s? Yeah, but honestly, it was easy for me to hang 600 credit scores on whatever cars that we needed to hang them on. And we could choose, we could increase gross that way, help them, all this stuff. So 40 to 70, this person has to buy back their time. They have to be in a sales activity. What does that mean? I have somebody doing deliveries for me. I have somebody doing my dealer trades. I have somebody that's answering my lead generation. I have somebody that's manning my website. I had a website at this level, and you could click, inquire, be right there with me. All my Facebook advertising went to there. I could port it to my CRM. Yes, I got it approved by the dealer, and I could start to run my own business within the business, okay? I had to be able to invest in this. There's a lot of things that you guys don't know within that strategy, like 1,000 things, like how to pay an assistant, how to make them call, how do you approach your dealer and ask for that? Are you ready for that? How to do leads. There's 40 different ways that I did leads. But this is the basic formula of how you rise. Like a lot of people are like, how does somebody sell 70? They just have somebody generating them business, answering their business, and that's how you go from like right here to right here. At 10 to 20 cars, you just gotta work really hard. You gotta work really hard. You gotta work yourself in to a new way of acting, thinking, and the way that you approach deals because you have that experience so people know you're the expert. 20 to 40, man, you're getting better at your skill, your training. Man, you're able to shut deals left and right and make it look easy, okay? That's a lot more skill. You gotta have a lot more skill here, and you're starting to develop heavy lead generation here. This is where you're developing heavy lead generation. You got some little honey holes that are paying off. You got referrals that are paying off, and you could probably get 10 to 15 referrals a month. A lot of salespeople don't know how to get 10 referrals in a year. I can get 30 a month. I still get, 15 to 20 referrals a month. I haven't sold cars in 5 years. My customers still come back because they know that I was the most important word in sales. Unforgettable. Unforgettable. I don't even know if that's how you spell it. Doesn't matter. Okay. But if you're unforgettable and you really know how to have charisma in sales, passion in sales, you know how to have confidence in sales, you know how to close, you know how to handle objections, you know how to take the pressure out of things. Man, I'm aggressive now because I'm crazy. I'm teaching you. I want to get you fired up. I want to get you thinking. But when I'm with customers, man, I know how to mold and adapt and get to their frequency and just a little bit higher. Here's the rule of energy. If they're here at a level 7, you want to come in at a level 9. Some people are like, match your customer's energy. I'm like, you kidding me? Hell no. I'm gonna come in just a little bit above them, not too much above them, but I'm gonna make them have a better day. Now listen, if you can do this, you can make this sales career the greatest career ever. You have diamonds under your feet in whatever store. I've gone into the most broken stores and built the most insane car salesmen in the history of time. I have car salesmen that made $1 million in 1 year. $1 million. I never did, but they're better than me. I taught them, they're better than me, okay? But there's probably a few people in this world who sold as many cars as I did and dominated it for as long as I did. So you're gonna have questions about how you talk to your desk manager, how you do lead generation, how you approach the BDC, how you get the leads, how you hire an assistant. All of this we teach in our academy, and I've got a blueprint that I'll send over to you, but only if you're really, truly 1,000% committed. And I'll jump on the phone with you if you're really committed to growing yourself, if you're really committed to getting in the battle and becoming great. I wanna see a lot of people become great. We've created a lot of great, amazing car salesmen around the world. And so this is just a quick mindset adjustment of what is really going on for people to rise through these levels. And if you want to rise through it, just text me 480-780-2203 and I'll show you how. Kick ass and listen. Don't let anybody steal your belief. Don't let anybody not make you believe in yourself. I know in this car sales world, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of negativity, just like any business. You're gonna realize that's in every business, not just the car industry. You're gonna realize there's a lot of people around you that don't want you to win. Are you gonna prove them right or are you gonna prove them wrong? I'm gonna prove them wrong and I'm gonna kick their ass and I'm gonna become the best that I can be. I'm gonna invest in myself. I'm gonna get around the right people. Shoot, man, I've seen the craziest stories. The people that come from the least end up with the most. The people that are going through it right now, that are on the verge of quitting, I get a hold of those people, they go to the next level. The guys that are great, that are already doing 30, 40, 50 cars, you're easy to take to 70, 80 cars, easy, okay? But don't let anybody steal your belief. Don't let this crazy world steal your belief. Go out there and be great. You can be great. I believe in you. Uncle Ian's got your back. Let's kill it. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it. And also turn your notifications on because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.